Hey guys, it's Taysgreenlife with Patrick Ryan from Set for Tomorrow, and was it Burial,
It's Varia. People say
Varia?
people say Varia, people say Varia, people confuse us for varials. So it's very confusing, but yeah, it's Varia. Like think like you're in a conversation and you go, it's very that's a cringy way to put it, but that's
It's
how it is.
Varia. So
Yeah.
Varia did just, I guess, produce a new song, and you guys just shared it recently.
Yeah, we produced it, we put it out in the world. Yeah, we've had that one for I think literally 6 years. Because the guys in that band and me, we've known each other for so long and we've been
Hmm.
making so many different styles of stuff. And that one's just kind of always been on the back burner. And when we got back together, it was like, why don't we actually put this out? So we went and like actually recorded it
Yeah.
decently. Because the original demos, if I showed you, it sounds like it's from a toaster. It's pretty rough. So this one I don't think sounds like it's from a toaster, but
No, it doesn't. And then you also just had another one. The new narrative just came out. Was it like a couple months ago?
yeah, it's
Um,
there's a lot a lot of songs.
and then the human, what was it called? The human consumption, I think that's what it's also called.
The human some shit. Yeah,
The
that
human
drops
consumption,
next week.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's coming out soon. You
The
got a
human
couple
condition. Yeah.
human condition. There we go. Where would you say you spend most of your time? Do you spend like equal amount of time with both bands, or are you mostly with the Set for Tomorrow?
The separate I'm mostly with the set for tomorrow. Yeah. We do a lot more in
Yeah.
person. Varia, like I mean, Varia, we've known each other so long, so we just kind of know like where we are dynamically, I guess.
Yeah.
But like with set for tomorrow, like there's so much that goes up like content wise, like filming and shows and all that. So I'm probably actually physically with them more, I guess. I don't know. I think they do a little bit more.
Yeah, you guys create a lot of content on TikTok. How would you say that's something easy to do, or do you spend a lot of time like trying to figure out what to post before you actually post?
It's easy for me because I don't really do it.
Yeah.
That's mainly Brendan, James, and
Yeah.
Mikey. They're like the main three for TikTok. Like I sit there and I like try to make jokes, but I just like it's one of those things I just cringe at myself. Like I have the type of humor where people just kind of laugh at me, sort of thing. So it doesn't really work. Like trying to make skits. Like there's a couple. I've had a few ideas and stuff, and like I film it and then I watch it and I'm like I just want to give up every time.
I try to do the same thing. I hate creating content. Like it's like I dread it because I have to be like on social media all the time and I hate social media. Yeah, I feel like it's a
Yeah, it's the biggest
distraction.
energy vampire there is.
Yes, and you have to create like so many TikToks and so many people have to view it. And then if you don't get good views, you're like, crap, how am I supposed to like get out there?
I know if you don't get good views, sometimes when I post stuff on TikTok, it gets like zero, or it's even worse, it gets like two for like a week, and I'm like, oh, guess I'll just give up.
I guess I just give up on
I delete it and then have to repost. Yeah, it's a whole process.
that. So with the Set for Tomorrow, would you say Mikey is one of the only ones that does a lot of the recording and producing, or is it everybody together?
Oh, for set for tomorrow? Well,
Yes.
generally how it works is Mikey will like, because I can record and stuff too, but my demos are like not good quality. But he mainly like, I mean, he's a great producer, so he pretty much just comes up with like the nucleus for most of the songs, like Human Condition, Laws of Nature, and I think there's another one coming out. Like I kind of like was the genesis of it, but like
Hmm.
generally Mikey kind of like makes the instrumentals, sends it over. I track vocals on it, and then we pretty much have like an idea of how the song's going to be, and then everyone comes in and like changes it and makes it their way. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, yeah. It's a little bit difficult because like when you're by yourself, you could just like do everything at once and it's your whole idea, but then you have like all these other people. Like it's not just you and the band, it's like multiple people that have ideas and they want
oh,
to get their ideas across. Yeah.
for me that's good. If it was all me, it'd be all cringe all the time. So it's good to have them.
Yeah. So what would you say is one of your favorite venues to play at? You played in like Richmond, Northern Virginia, New York, Pennsylvania. What would be one of your
My
favorites?
My favorite venues. My favorite venue. I'm gonna sound super old saying this. My favorite venue ever was this place called Kingdom in Richmond. It's actually like a few blocks down from where Canal Club is now.
Hmm.
That was my favorite venue. Like it was it wasn't like the nicest, but
Yeah.
just the people there and like the energy around it. Like every time there was a show at Kingdom, it just popped off. So that was great. I guess I love Canal Club. Canal Club is like I'm there all the time. Mikey works there.
Yeah, he
Um,
does.
so that kind of feels like a second home. But there's a place in New York. I think it's Long Island, Amityville Music Hall. It's a tight little bit. It's like
Yeah.
narrow, but it's cool. Um, and there's probably so many others I'm forgetting, but those are the two that come to my head.
Yeah, because like I try to like go a little bit out, but I'm like I can't drive all the way to New York, that's a long stretch. But I'm gonna like try like go to like the like no, at the Norva and like Chesapeake area, and then Northern Virginia is probably like the furthest I'll go right now.
I
And
know Virginia needs to get some more music venues.
they do compared to was it the Canal Club, the Camel, the National, the Broadberry, I think is one of them.
I've I've
Um,
never been to the Broadberry. I've driven by it though,
driven by
so I guess I'm
it's pretty
almost cool.
small. It's a small venue, but like I mean, they sometimes have shows there, not compared to like the Canal Club that has it like every like other day. Um
Yeah.
so we got how do you keep up with all the activities, the shows, and all the new people you've met? How would you say like your,
Oh my God,
yeah.
it gets hard sometimes. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie. It definitely is a balancing act. I don't know. It's just really to do this in this day and age, like you pretty much just have to like envelop everything. Like
Mhm.
it's kind of like you can't just like put on a front and then go and do
Yeah.
it, and then because people see right through that. You know what I mean? So you really have to have a passion for it, I think, in order to get anywhere in today's as well, just with the way
Yeah.
technology is, like
Mhm.
everything's so intimate. So
Yeah, because like I'll start to go. I went to a show last night at the bike shop, which was it was weird. I don't have you heard of the bike shop on Williamsburg Road?
I have now.
Okay, so they have like a bunch of bands that go out there, and like local bands. Like Defying Death was there last night, Fellowship was there last night. And like it's a little bike shop with like a skateboard and ramp, and like they have like shows in the corner, and you can bring your own booze, and it was honestly like it wasn't a lot of people there, but like it was homey, and it was just like nice. Everyone was supporting each other, and like I didn't even know existed. I was like, wow, these little random little house shows, house companies, that are throwing these little events. I think that matter because like being in the local scene is very important because there's so many different people out there, and you don't know who you're gonna meet.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
I honestly like these little like hole in the wall venues. There was this place called Fear Cliff. It was a skate park,
Hmm.
and bands like Sworn In and stuff came in. Traders, when Traders like first started, they played there. But yeah, I honestly kind of like the smaller, like more DIY venues than like the big like production, where there's like a separate green room. I don't know. Like I kind of like to me, I'll play anywhere as long as there's people having a good time. Like I'll
Yeah.
play in a kitchen.
I actually shared a video earlier today, and it was a China band playing at McDonald's, and I was like, why? Like, how does that
I
happen?
love McDonald's. I eat such
Yeah.
bad food, so I would love to do that. They're living my dream.
I actually talked to another band. Was it Waters Deep, and they played in a Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Varia was supposed to play that years ago.
Yeah, they I guess one of the shows got canceled, and they were like, "Well, we really want to play," and then they just went in Dunkin' Donuts, and they were like, "Can we play? Like, we
Oh
need."
my gosh. Yeah, let me tell you the story about that. So basically, very back in the day, like
Yeah.
I'll admit it, like I didn't know nearly as much as I did now, so I was just rushing like so much to get a lot done. So we bought this van, I think 10 days before. It was a
Yeah.
used prison van. And to tell you how sketchy it was, we paid we paid $1,000 in cash. And I put it in an envelope and we handed it to the guy. And because I was like way younger, I didn't think like, oh yeah, cars need maintenance. So it had all these problems, and we loaded up. It was like this gigantic
Yeah.
prison van with like the stuff on the window. It was bad, And so we start driving down to North Carolina. We were going to do like 7 or 8 days with them. And I was driving, and then in North Carolina, like when you're going down, uh, so like when you're going down, there's like 5 lanes, and the tire, it not only popped, but it started to actually come off of the van.
Oh
And
no.
it was like, and then it started like catching on fire, and so I had to pull like 5 lanes over. Yeah, it almost killed. And all these semis nearly like hit us on the way. Yeah, it was pretty cool. And then
Oh
we didn't
God.
do any of the shows.
Yeah, yeah. I've right now, like I can't wait till I get a better setup, like because I'm just doing everything on my laptop at this point. And like I have just have a
Yeah.
mic hooked up to my laptop, and then like I'll do like live interviews. And I'll just hook the mic up to my phone, and I'll be like, can you guys just record from over there? And and people look at me weird, but I'm like, it works. It
What
works.
if it works? Yeah, that's how you do it. I don't know
And I'm
what the
just
heck I just said, but
if it works, it works.
yeah, if it works, it
Um,
works.
how do you feel about the scene now? Like, do you think there's some things that should change or should be added to it and things people
Hate
should
them
do?
all. No, the scene now, I think honestly, I think after COVID, a lot of people realized. I think the people that really wanted to do
Hmm.
this kind of stuck around. I see a lot of like I was looking at flyers, funny enough, a couple days ago from like years ago, and there's so many bands that just kind of fell off due to venue closures or
Yeah.
COVID and all that stuff. But I think I think it's good. I think there's a lot of people that have a lot of drive in this uh, scene and stuff, and yeah,
To the next question, working with some cool people. Who do you enjoy working with, and who do you think you should, go back on tour with, and
back on tour with I wish I could just take everybody out like that I've gone out with,
yeah,
honestly. I like going out with New Saviors. We just went out with New Saviors in June. We
yes,
only did like 4 days with that. It seemed like it went by super fast, but they were really cool. Shout out New Saviors if you watch this.
yeah. I think it's great that you're like networking and still trying to be friends with these people. Do you think networking is very important?
Yeah, it's crucial. And honestly, one thing that I notice just with I guess in the music industry, a lot of people like this is just a pet peeve of mine, but it seems like a lot of people just like kind of use people as like connects, you know what I mean? There's no like real like
Yeah.
human element to that. And I would like to get back to more of like a, oh like I don't care how many like likes or whatever people have like or whatever their following is. Like if you're a nice person, I'll talk to you. It's just getting back to that human element, I think. There, yeah, that's something I've noticed too. Just that's not just I'm not saying that about the scene, but just like music in general. Like I wish there was more of like a human connection rather than just like, oh, you have this amount of whatever, so let me talk to you to try to know you for that. Because it's very transparent when I see that.
I've noticed it too. Like it's a lot of like especially on the social media, you can see it. Like everyone's just hearting each other and like, oh, I love you so much, but yet they don't like you never see anybody else at other shows. I
Yeah.
try to go to all of them. I try really hard. And I mean it's hard, but like I feel like other bands should do the same thing. If there's not, if they're not doing anything, if they don't have any shows, they should still support the local music and the local scene because it helps other bands.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
and I feel like people just need to be like friends instead of like competition. I mean, it is, a big market, but we can still be like nice to each other and still support each other. And I think that's important.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think too, like especially like I said, in this day and age where like everything like you see everyone's life like just all the time now with social media and stuff like that. So it's very easy to tell who's like doing stuff for the right reasons and who's just
Hmm.
kind of like trying to clout chase. And I could tell you honestly, like the people that do it for the right reasons are usually like the people that work with everyone because everyone wants to work with them because they're so nice. Like it's just chill. At least that's what
Yeah.
I've noticed my experience, but
Yeah. I don't like to hang out with like some of the bands that are just always like doing other things and it's all like a business. And I'm just like, can we just like hang out and vibe and like treat each other like people? Like we don't
yes,
have to do
yeah.
anything. We could just hang out and just be people. You're not just set for tomorrow and all that. You're an actual person. and
Yeah.
like people are like, "Oh my God, Patrick Ryan's here," and I'm like, "Yeah, that's cool. He's
No
a
one
cool
says
dude."
that.
I'm like, "Oh, he's a great person." Like
No,
they're excited because they're like, "Oh, this famous star in Richmond is coming out," and I'm like, "He's a person."
normally they go like this. They go, oh, Pat's here. Oh. They roll their eyes
That's
and they
not
walk
true.
away. They go, oh, again with him.
Oh God, he's here again.
I know, right? Yeah.
So what kind of influences helped you evolve in your music today?
Um, well, I'm an emo boy at heart. So I love stuff like My Chem or like early Escape the Fate, Scary
Yeah.
Kids, stuff like that. But yeah, I would say like for this genre, like those types of bands like really helped me like get into music with screaming in it. Like before, because I grew up in California, and when I lived in California, I only listened to like Green Day, Blink 182. Like I was very much this, yeah, the stereotype. And then I
Yeah.
moved here, but everyone wanted to play stuff like Kill Switch or Bullet for My Valentine. That's when they were like huge. And then
Yeah.
well, I remember like hearing screaming at first and actually being scared. I was like, oh, what? You talking
Yeah.
about what? It was creepy. And then it's one of those things where it's like the more you play it, the more like technically advanced you become, like the funner it becomes, and then it's like you get used to it. Um, but
Yeah.
yeah.
I think it's funny because like I remember my first ever screamo show. When I was 14, I went to the Canal Club and I saw In Fear and Faith. And I was like, oh my God, that's so scary. Oh my God. And then like eventually it just like evolved into me, oh my God, I love them so much. Like the older I
Wait,
got.
I might I might have played that show. What year was that?
That was a long time ago. That was probably like, ah man. I
Are
don't
you
even
sure it
know.
was
I was
Canal
in
Club?
sixth grade. I was in sixth grade.
Because I love In Fear
14.
and Faith. I have an In Fear and Faith shirt somewhere over here. I'm not even kidding. I love that band.
I think they did a song. Was it Gangster Paradise too? Uh,
In Fear and Faith did?
yes, they did a cover for Gangster Paradise. Yeah, I totally remember it. And oh
Rest in
God,
peace, Coolio.
you know what? I think one of the bands that came there, I don't remember. There was this African American like frontman, and I was like, oh, he's so cool. I was like, look at his voice. I'm like, he's so badass on the stage. And now I'm like Seven Dust and like all these like what was it volumes and
I
then
love Volumes.
yes, volumes is like one of my favorites, and then like of course Ara 804, he's repping Virginia.
804.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I don't remember when it was, but I was like in a mosh pit and I was like, "Oh my God, what am I doing here? I'm gonna die."
I'm pretty sure if it was in Fear and Faith, I'm pretty sure my old local band played that show.
I
I
don't
feel
know.
like
I
it
was
was
13. I'm like
I
27 now. So we're putting it
yeah, I'm
out there.
27.
Then we had to be the same age. What, you were in a punk band when you were 14?
When I moved here, in like I was in a bunch of local bands, but I think you're thinking of Kingdom actually, because I have pictures of it. Yeah, all right. So here's something really cringe. My old local band back in the day, we wore suits for one of the shows, and I'm pretty sure it's in Fear and Faith. I
I
could
don't
find pictures of it. I'm pretty
I
sure.
really don't think it was the Kingdom because I remember like standing outside. And you know how like you have to wait outside to get inside when it opens? And I remember like the
Yeah.
pizza place, the bottoms up pizza right across the street. So I actually never went to Kingdom and I kind of wish I did. But I've been to like all the other venues, and new venues like the bike shop. That was insane.
Well, if anything, we know it's not a phase.
No, it's still around. I feel like Richmond has a big metal scene and I love it. Like I love it how we're all like trying to get out and like trying to be big. Like Bad Omens, two members from Bad Omens. They're
Yep.
both from Virginia. Nick does Tantrum Tattoo in Petersburg. So like I feel like all of us can like get out, and do the
Yeah.
same thing because like Richmond's starting to up and come a little bit. And I've been noticing a lot of like stars are moving to like Virginia. and they're starting to get more in the scene. Like Pierce the Veils at the Canal Club. Like that was,
I know. I was so sad I couldn't go to that.
yeah, me too. And I was like, oh my God, like what the heck? Where did this show come from?
My friend Scott was there, our drummer from Varia, and he was like sending me live pictures, and I'm like, don't do that. It makes me jealous.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
I think there was like a lot of people that were kind of upset because they were like, we do have a scene. Um, it showed because it sold out in like literally 12 minutes. And people were like, there is a scene. Nobody wants to go to local shows and like support the local. They just only want to go where it's like a big brand, and how like a lot of the big bands don't have opening spots for like like local people. They just do like big shows and that's it. And I feel like more openers should be like brought in from the local scene to get them like more experienced.
Yeah, I think it's both sides of the card too. Like, yeah, like they could probably show some love to the locals, but also too, I think it's also on the locals to be grinding hard enough to make people want to come out. You know
Yes.
what I mean? And
Yeah.
like as someone who's I was the little scene kid with the hair outside the Hot Topic in the mall, selling pre-sale tickets, like it's that type of grind, So it's both, but yeah, I agree.
Do you think it's been a little bit easier since you've gotten older compared to how it was when you were like younger starting out?
Um, Not on my body. I would say that I'm definitely more tired after every show now. Um, but easier, yes and no in some ways. Like, I mean, the older you get, or the older people get, like the more experience they have, so that's helpful. But yeah, I don't. There's sorry, I'm reading something. Yeah, the older I get, there's more experience, which is really helpful. But I try to always like keep an ear to the ground and just stay humble. Like I always try to think like, I'm just a person. Like I don't know everything, and I don't
Mhm.
ever try to have like an ego or anything like that.
And that's super important because you look personable. You look like you're supporting me. Like I'm not like big out there yet, but like you came on here and you talked to me for a little bit.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, my video keeps going in and out. Of course it
That's
does
probably
this
my
every week.
service. I'm infamous for my bad service, by the way. I'm sorry. I tried to connect.
It's a little bad on my side too. I think it could just be the internet, like because I'm going in and out. You catch the last end of my video, like see. um, we're getting close to the end here. Was there anything you wanted to talk about really quickly? Anything you want everyone to know before we get off?
Nah, no, we Human Condition comes out next week. It's October 14th for Set for Tomorrow. We have a show in Baltimore, same day, with our boys in Dying Arms. There's Alka, there's a few other good bands on there too. So if you're in the area, or even if you're not in the area,
Come
try
out.
to be, because yeah, it's gonna be ridiculous. It's gonna be a lot of people there. It's gonna be a good time, and I'm definitely wearing my mask.
Yeah. And you want to put in your tag a little bit? Tell people where we should follow you.
My person tag is at Pattering with two G's. Someone took the one G, and then I sing for a band called Separate Tomorrow, and I sing for another band called Varia.
All right, great. It was a pleasure doing this interview with you. And it's been great. Thank you for joining Taysgreenlife.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Really appreciate it.
Okay.